Hi,
Hey,
how are you?
good. You look beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much. I just, I was at a cocktail party with some friends and, had to drink, I think. How do I look? I actually used the computer as my mirror,
That's fine.
so I look good, because, I've been drinking a little, so.
No, you look good. You're fine. So I wanted to ask you about the first. I mean, I'm not going to go on about it, and this isn't like a formal. I'm not going to be bloody Oprah, but the first time I came across you was on the Real Housewives,
Right.
and you blew me away with a one-liner instantly, and I was like, "Fuck everybody else. Who's this chick?" You destroyed that drag queen with one comment, and I was like, "I need to know that person." It was amazing. This is so.
Yeah.
What was the line? This is so unladylike. Congratulations.
It was really like. But no, the Real Housewives has been great to me, really great. I mean, I've gotten a lot of, well, great and not so great. There, there are two different sides to all of it. I don't like being approached in public by strangers. Today I had lunch and was walking down Lincoln Road, and some guy started talking to me on the street, and you always have to be careful about speaking to people and not offending anybody.
Yeah.
And so he said, "Hey, Lauren, how are you?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm great, how are you?" And I'm thinking, where do I know this person from? And he was a complete stranger. I said, "Well, how do I know you?" He's like, "Oh, I saw you on Real Housewives." I'm like, "Oh, okay." It's funny because I came in as kind of a weapon. I was brought in as a weapon to destroy that drag queen.
What a glamour weapon.
Which I did. And then it seemed to be that everybody kind of started using me as a tool against each other. Like, oh, well, she's my friend, she's not, she's this, she's that. I'm still embroiled in a little bit of a, whatever. And I'm actually seeing Anna, one of the ex-housewives, tonight. She's coming to this fabulous event that my friend Mark Silver is a part of. It's Dwayne Wade's birthday party on a yacht in the Bay.
Fantastic.
So it'll be fun. Yeah, he just got engaged to Gabrielle Union, I think.
Oh, okay.
And so it's going to be fun. We'll be on a yacht and people will be drunk and happy. And,
I'm jealous.
It'll be perfect. It'll be a nice night. Oh, nice. I'm probably going to be in London I'm going to Cape Town on the 26th of January. Yeah. And on my return flight, I'm going to stop in London for a couple of days.
So we're going to go and have a drink?
For sure.
Good girl.
Sure. My ex-boyfriend, who has a house there, lives in Kensington. So
wonderful. That's
where I'll be staying for one night.
Oh.
So will you have a drink with me?
Yes, of course I will. But tell me, how did you meet Joe? Because I think I knew Joe's work before I knew that it was Joe's work, if you know what I mean.
Right.
His aesthetic's quite interesting and beautiful.
Oh, he's so talented. I mean, so talented. I actually, about 4 years ago, during Art Basel, I was at a party at the Raleigh Hotel, and David LaChapelle, the photographer, had just done a campaign for Bach.
Yeah.
And Daphne Guinness was the star for the campaign. And
Hi, I don't know what happened. It might be our internet connection. That might happen occasionally, but we can just edit it out.
Okay, that's fine.
Is that all right?
So what was it?
You were telling me about Joe and about how you met him.
Oh, so Daphne and I formed a relationship then.
Yeah.
And she started following me on Twitter, and I always, of course, follow her on Twitter. And then I think Joe saw my tweets with her and started following me. And I came to New York one weekend a couple of years, like 2 years ago, and he said, "Well, let's meet. I'd love you to do a movie with you." And I said, "Well, that's great. I'm going to an art exhibit on da-da-da. Maybe we can meet afterwards." And so I came to my friend's apartment, Matt had a drink, and he's like, "I'm in love. Let's do a movie."
Yeah.
And that's how it happened. That's how it happened. I just love his aesthetic. It's so amazing.
It is. It's very visceral, and that's probably a word I overuse, but it's a kind of... I like people that are sort of real, and it seems kind of harsh, and I think that's important. Extreme things are interesting, I find.
He's provocative.
Yes.
you know, I love that. I love pushing the envelope. I love being a little out there.
Yeah.
You know, and he does all of that. And have you met Joe?
I haven't met Joe yet, but hopefully I think we might be going to New York a little bit later this year, and I'm definitely going to make the effort to spend some time with him. I want to ask about, I think, I mean, you've been very successful. And I think that the reason that Joe was so captivated is that there's no coincidence that he's making a parallel between the icon, you know, Marylebone Road, and with your certain brand of glamour. And I want to know what you think about that. I mean, do you think there's something dark, or not even dark, that's too predictable, but something inside you that he really familiarizes with? Because I don't think he would connect with someone he didn't find a little bit of himself within.
You know, there's definitely part of me that has glamour in part of it, but it's almost kind of like a means to an end, and people think that you're capitalizing on something, or you're wanting to make something out of it, but it really just does come naturally to me.
Yeah.
And it's something, my mother was a very chic woman. It's just, I don't know, it's just, I'm lucky, but it does, I understand the question. It's a blessing and a curse, let's just say that.
Yeah, I always find that the most interesting people have something, sorry, beat back. The internet is such a pain in the ass, isn't it?
Oh! It's awful. I have like 5 computers here ready.
That's all right. And tell me, I was obviously doing a bit of research and reading about you, and it said when you were on the brink of stardom, the work that you'd worked so hard for was shattered by a bullet from a misfired pistol. Is that a metaphor or is that literal? Because I'm from Ireland and pistols, you know, it happens.
That's absolutely true. I'm blind and deaf on my right side.
Really? I did not know that.
A girl, I was at a fashion show, and a girlfriend, her boyfriend met her, and he was really cute guy. He was showing off and showing everybody his new gun that he had just bought.
Yeah.
And,
Hi, that problem is fixed. Sorry about that. But in a serious note, I mean, actually, I think it's obviously a really serious subject matter. I mean, if you don't mind telling me in detail, because it's...
What were you talking about? The gunshot, yes. Yeah. So he was showing off. There was like 12 models there, and he was obviously wanting to be a big guy. And he was showing the girl that was standing opposite me the gun.
Yeah.
And it went off and shot against the wall and ricocheted into my face. So, like, the whole side of my face here was almost like blown away. And then rebuilt by a surgeon the very next day. Sorry, what?
You can fill me in your history. I want to know.
What would you like to know, darling?
I want to know when... I don't know. The moment you sort of left your hometown and decided that you were going to be something different. Be somebody... when someone leaves their hometown, they aspire to find something new, and it isn't easy to do that in travel. So it takes something inside yourself that want to do something.
I was so fortunate. I came from a very wonderful family with great support of my parents, and who just encouraged me to be artistic, to encourage me to be whoever I wanted to be. And I lived in a very colonial town, and I just wanted to get out of there. I kept on reading magazines and seeing fashion. I was always interested in fashion and things like that, and then just was scouted by somebody from a local model agency called Lee Downing, and actually I'm still friendly with my first agent, Tanya, and started working there. And then just from Durban, where I'm from, I went to Johannesburg, London, and Paris, and Greece, and all over the world. And that's how that all happened. It was, I think I'm the person I am because of the journey that I've taken. But you know, I don't like to focus on negative things.
No, of course.
I'd rather focus on bright, shiny things like diamonds and money and champagne and things like that.
That's a good thing to focus on. I like it.
Don't you think?
No, yeah, I mean, if you've got the choice, you should definitely do that. Some people don't have the choice.
Okay, so how do I look? I I don't know where I look
Show me what you're wearing. I want to see what you're wearing. Can you stand up for me?
It's actually Versace, and wait, let me see if I can show you.
Oh, you look beautiful.
It's, yeah, so, I mean, I'm holding my iPad out to show you.
Versace's gonna love
My friend Mark Silver has had a fabulous, fabulous friend, and he helped me actually put the lighting together for this. He's
done a good job. I like it.
I live in a lovely apartment overlooking the bay in Miami Beach, so I wake up and go to sleep at night with the bay in the background, right in front of my face, so it's cool. It's all nice, but let's get back to Joe.
Yeah, because I mean, it seems to me that you have quite a tranquil, happy life, obviously, but Joe's film is quite dark, and it's about overdose and substance management.
It's very dark. It's very dark, and sometimes I feel like he tries to put me in that role. And when I saw the cut of the film, I was like, well, where's that part of me breaking down in the bathroom? And and he's like, well, actually, that was a good angle for you. And I'm like, he probably just wanted all the desperation and just, the destructive part of me. But there are more, I have a soft side, I really do.
No, I'm sure you do. But how did that day go? I mean, what was the process for shooting? What did he talk you through? Did he ask you to think about things, or? I had just broken up with my boyfriend, 2 weeks prior to that, who I was in the first movie with Joe with. Yeah.
And so I was still kind of a little raw and fragile, and and I prepared for that day of shooting by listening to a lot of music that we used to listen to together.
Yeah.
Like Enya and things like that. And I arrived at a hotel. It was snowing, so badly, and I couldn't get a cab. I'm in this fur coat and luggage and changes and things like that, and I couldn't get a cab. It was so exasperating.
Yeah.
But I got to this kind of a seedy hotel, and he had a cheap bottle of tequila ready for me. I'm like, God, could you not have gotten down earlier? But anyway.
Yeah.
It was interesting. It was I know how he likes to photograph and film now, because it's now the third time I filmed with him.
Yeah.
And so it was interesting. It was fun. I left, I was really drained by the time I left. Actually, after filming, I went to Mark Silver's house, who's visiting me right now. And we went to a couple of parties afterwards, but it just took a lot out of me.
Would that be connected? When I came across you on Twitter, I noticed a comment that you made, and I mean, it might be quite personal, but that's okay. You said, the sad thing about betrayal is it never comes from an enemy. And that resonated with me really deeply, and I want to know why you wrote that. You can be as vague or as specific.
Well, first of all, don't you think that's true?
I think it's so true that it's almost criminal, isn't it?
I mean, you're never betrayed by somebody you don't know. Of course, you're always betrayed by somebody who's close to you, because they are either jealous or evil or I don't know. I trust the person that I see in the mirror.
That's good.
That's the person I trust, which is sad in a way. I'd love to be more trusting, but I've lived a lot and I know who to trust, and that person is right in this mirror.
Yeah. was that just a quote, or was that something? Were you inspired to say it because you were fucked off about something?
I was kind of thinking of something, reflecting on something, and I just wrote it. I'm the worst person for social media. I shouldn't be on social media because I just say what I feel.
Well, how do you handle the ladies that are jealous of you? Because I think that, listen to that last interview of Marylebone Road, which, it kind of inspired the reason for me to speak with you, which maybe I should explain, because if this is edited, people might want to know, is that, obviously Joe edited your movie is you're very much a femme fatale and it's iconic, and he sort of put a parallel with Marilyn Monroe. And I thought it would be interesting to sort of meet you with the mindset of approaching it with some of the themes that Marilyn approached in the last ever interview she had before she died.
Right. I watched it last night and over again. It was so sad.
And because they focused.
Don't you find it sad?
It sounds sad because her laugh said a lot, because it was like a punctuation.
It was almost a little, I don't know, psychotic, her laugh.
It was a little bit desperate and sad, and I thought, I mean, the interview is quite vague and awkward, and which makes it interesting for me because there's no structure to follow. But the thing was, she got asked a lot about fame. She was recognized. She was perceived a certain way, and she felt like that it was a different entity to her, and that it maybe preceded her, and it almost made her insecure in the end, because she felt like she was fooling people, because they would meet her in real life and she would feel like she almost wasn't what they expect, because it's such a large expectation. And that's something when you walk into a room.
I mean, it's something to, as I said before earlier, it's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
So it's something that I don't enjoy at all. There's, people always wonder, oh, I'd love to be famous, I'd love to be this, I'd love to be that, and I'm not famous. I mean, people know who I am, but I'm not, a movie star. But even in that small little area, demographic that I occupy, the space that I occupy, it nurtures hate and resentment and acrimony and things like that, and that's so unpleasant, and it's not a place that I like to go to, ever. But you have to deal with it.
It's a magnet. I don't know how you feel about this, but would you agree that it's true that success and fame would be a magnet for other people's almost insecurities? That might be oversimplifying.
I totally agree with that. Absolutely.
Yeah, like with something. I mean, if say something wonderful's happening for you, and you get another deal out of it, or you're getting more attention than the other ladies on the show. I mean, how many people call you up to congratulate you and say, well done for being successful, and are you proud of yourself?
My dear friends call me up and say that. The so-called friends never do. I always tell a friend of mine that your friends really don't want you to succeed or be successful or have a good time. They love it when you fall and falter and trip up. And